Good day, everyone. It's Eme from Kerlink Academy. So today I'm going to be looking at discussing Level 5 Diploma in Leadership and Management for residential childcare in England. That is Level 5 Diploma in Leadership and Management for residential childcare in England. This qualification is nationally recognized and it is legally required under the Children's Homes Regulation of 2015 So it's legally required under the Children's Homes Regulation of 2015 for anyone acting as a registered, and it's for anyone acting as a registered manager or deputy manager in a residential childcare setting. So we are talking about Level 5 Diploma in Leadership and Management for residential childcare here. It's a legally recognized or required qualification to have if you're thinking about becoming a manager or deputy manager in a residential childcare setting. So, what are the requirements, you ask? It is mandatory that you have to have that qualification. The assessment itself is 100% portfolio based. That's, we do it online. No exams, but you will be expected to be assessed at work, and once you get that qualification, you have a higher career impact, and you're looking at the salary of between 45 to 65,000 per annum. So it is a high impact qualification to have. If you are thinking about it, take the steps. We are here to support you at Kerlink. We will give you, because it is 100% portfolio based, so you have that one-to-one support. So we'll be there to make sure that we work with you until you finish the qualification. The qualification is mainly targeted at deputy managers, team leaders, senior residential childcare workers, and if you have just been newly appointed as a registered manager. So once you have that Level 5, is a foundation to it's equivalent to a foundation to a degree, a foundation degree or higher national diploma. So with that qualification, the key focus with that qualification will be around safeguarding regulatory compliance key, because that is Ofsted assessed as well. So there will be therapeutic care leadership module, and how you manage your team will be part of the focus. Financial governance in residential homes. Those are part of the things that you will be able to gain from doing this Level 5 qualification. The question is, have you been thinking about it? Are you a senior support worker, a deputy manager, or are you ready to lead your own residential children's home? Because the Level 5 Diploma in Leadership and Management for residential is mandatory. So at Kerlink, we make the achieving that qualification, like I said, flexible and manageable, because we know you're working. So we want to be able to get your balance right, your shift patterns. So we work with you on a one-to-one support to make it flexible and manageable at Kerlink. Again, it's 100% online, and You study around your work and no exams. You are assessed on practical leadership. You will be assessed on practical leadership and policies and real world evidences. So, in as much as you're not taking exams, we need to know that, you know, you know what you're doing in your role, and that is one of the things that will be looked at when you are doing your qualification, because like we said, we want to be able to bring your real life experience into your achieving your own achieving that qualification. So we will be expecting that with the one-to-one expert tutor, if you have any concerns, you know, we can guide you, we will signpost you, and we will work with you to be able to understand the expectation for that, to achieving the learning outcome for this qualification. So we as accredited training provider, we know we have to be compliant to the awarding body's requirements. So really what we are saying here is that you can do it to become qualified with the level 5. You just have to work with the learning outcomes that's expected, because you will have that support from Carelinc. We will not disrupt your shift patterns, you know, because it's work-based. You know, you generate your own evidence during normal work, because we need to see that evidence in your portfolio, and each learner will receive direct guidance from an industry expert tutor to keep them on track on timely completion. So that's what the mentor will do. That's what the tutor will do. You know, it will come from somebody that's already working in the system, in the areas, so that we'll be able to support you on how to achieve that outcome. So how long will it take is really up to you. You know, it will really be up to you, but we always say keep an open mind. 6 to 12 months, you can finish in between that, but you don't want to rush through it. You know, the key module units itself, you know, it's contained unit 1 up to 5 units, and each of those 5 units has their learning outcomes that needs to be achieved. One of the units is lead and manage care practice in residential childcare. You know, so this is where you are developing the therapeutic approaches and child in a child-centered environment. So these are the things you have to be looking into. The unit 2 is talking about managing safeguarding and child protection. So we are looking at multi-agency working, you know, and risk management, and trauma-informed care will be part of that unit as well. And then you come to unit 3, that will be on regulatory compliance and quality improvements. So as a manager, you know that you have to be able to be regulatory, you know, you have to be compliant, and quality has to be maintained, because you'll be preparing for Ofsted, and you know, you're preparing for Ofsted monitoring. So you have to, that is part of the unit that will be completed during your training. And then we have unit 4, which is leading and developing teams. So we're looking at supervisions, we're looking at appraisals, you'll be looking at, you know, how do you structure appraisals, staff retention, and safe recruitment. How do you, I mean, all of those will be part of that unit 4. And we will not know until you actually start how you're doing it at your own setting. But that unit is specifically to let you know that that is what will be expected, you know, where you're developing your STEAM and how you're leading, and that could be part of the observation as well. So another unit, that is unit 5, is operational and financial management. Very important. So we're looking at resources allocation, risk management, and health and safety governance. So those key units will, just saying all those units, so that when you come in to do it, you already know what you're looking into, what you're coming in for, because you'll be looking at managing safeguarding, you'll be looking at regulatory compliance, you'll be looking at leading and developing teams, you'll be looking at operational and financial management in terms of resources allocation. So as you're working now and thinking to coming to Kelling to register for this qualification, start creating your own portfolio, because this is the mistake that most learners do. They wait until they come on the training. That is when they start collecting their portfolio. If you know you want to do this course, this training, this qualification, you know what you're doing in every day. Every day, collect your evidence, especially things that you can really reflect on, and the legislations behind it. That is why a lot of people have referrals. They send the work back because you're not linking your work to legislation and your policies, and then reflect. And then how are you going to change it, or are you changing it, or what is the rationale for the decisions you take for every single maybe incidents, maybe your day-to-day work. What stands out for you? What really stands out for you? If you go to work today, everything goes well, you go in the next day, things you cannot, we know that as carers, no one day is the same. We know that because I am a qualified health visitor and I'm a nurse, and we know that carers, we can't go in there having a very nice day, but things do change. So when those things change, do you step back and reflect on it? What was the rationale? What was your role in what happened? Was it a positive or negative? Even though it was negative, it was positive. What have you learned from it? Do you have a legislation to back it up with for it? All of that are the things that should be showing your assessor that you are ready to lead. You are ready to lead and manage care practice in a residential childcare. So, again, thank you very much for visiting us, and I do expect that we will have some more questions to answer. But if you do have any questions specifically and you want me to answer it, please do send a text on you send a text. We have visit our website and send us a text, or you email us, or what another thing you can do is just put the question on the chat on the channel, and we'll be happy to answer those questions. If you want it on a one-to-one, we are on Facebook as well, so you can check us out on Facebook and then send your questions across. Thank you very much, and we look forward to having you registered for your level 5. Good evening.